Hub. Steve Kerr praises Warriors' grit after heartbreaking overtime loss to Clippers. Welcome to your Monday, April 14th edition of Hub, your go-to source for everything Warriors and NBA. It was a thriller on Sunday night, but the Golden State Warriors came up just short in an intense 124-119 overtime battle against the Los Angeles Clippers. The loss locks Golden State into the 7th seed in the Western Conference and sets the stage for a do-or-die path through the play-in tournament. Before we move on, if you are a Laker, leave your like. This will help you stay closer to all the news. Thank you. Despite the tough ending, head coach Steve Kerr had nothing but praise for his team's effort and energy. The guys fought with everything they had, Kerr said. The intensity was there, we just came up a few plays short. Stephen Curry led the charge with 36 points, while Jimmy Butler added 30 in a back-and-forth showdown. In the end, a few missed chances in overtime made all the difference. Had the Warriors pulled off the win, they would have clinched the 6th seed and punched a direct ticket to the playoffs. Instead, they'll have to regroup quickly and turn their focus to a high-stakes play-in matchup against the Memphis Grizzlies this Tuesday, a must-win game to keep their playoff hopes alive. For more on this and everything else happening around the NBA, check out our latest Monday News Roundup, right here. How one costly and unnecessary double team on Kawhi Leonard helped push the Warriors into the play-in. The Golden State Warriors are heading to the play-in tournament for the second straight year, and one ill-timed defensive decision might have been the tipping point. Sunday's 124-119 overtime loss to the Los Angeles Clippers wasn't just a heartbreaker. It was a strategic misfire at a time when the margin for error was razor-thin. Golden State had a chance to lock in the 6th seed and a first-round matchup with the Lakers. Instead, they'll now face the Memphis Grizzlies in a must-win play-in game, and much of that came down to a late-game choice to double-team Kawhi Leonard. The Warriors' defensive approach, often referred to internally as the Stackhouse scheme, named after assistant coach and de facto defensive coordinator Jerry Stackhouse, had its moments early. In fact, in the first half, the surprise traps and quick doubles rattled the Clippers, forcing them to speed up their half-court offense. That worked to Golden State's advantage, especially against deliberate isolation scorers like James Harden and Kawhi. But even then, not all the decisions made total sense. Take this example: Jimmy Butler stays put to clog the lane as Leonard drives against Moses Moody. While the play was executed well, the decision itself is questionable. Moody is a solid one-on-one defender and doesn't necessarily need help. Sure, the result was a win for the Warriors on that possession, but the process raised red flags. Late in the game, with the Warriors up 2 and the Clippers threatening, things got more complicated. Moody, who had done a commendable job defending Harden, Leonard and Powell, was inexplicably on the bench. In his place was Gary Payton II, an elite defender in his own right, but shorter and with less wingspan, 6 feet 8 inches versus Moody's 7 feet 1 inch. It's fair to question the move. Payton doesn't stretch the floor the way Moody can, and with him Butler and Draymond Green all on the court, the Clippers had more room to collapse on Steph Curry and pack the paint. The offensive spacing suffered. But what really unraveled things was on the other side of the ball, a single decision that snowballed. Leonard had the ball, guarded by Butler. Curry, meanwhile, was shadowing Chris Dunn, a player labeled a non-shooter, even though he went 3-for-3 from deep that night. Curry left Dunn to show early help on Kawhi, a choice that triggered the breakdown. Dunn wisely moved toward the right elbow, giving Kawhi an outlet. Curry fully committed to doubling, leaving Butler, who already had solid coverage, and opening the door for Dunn to make a clean pass. With Brandon Podziemski and Payton hesitant to help off shooters like Harden and Powell, the Warriors were suddenly in a 4-on-3 situation that quickly became a 2-on-1. Draymond Green was stuck trying to guard both Zubac in the paint, and Dunn simply lobbed it up. Zubac, standing a good 6 inches taller than Green, dunked it home. That play sparked a 13-8 run for the Clippers, a stretch where every little decision mattered, and the Clippers simply made a few better ones. The Warriors still had chances. There was Green's missed layup that would have tied the game. There were Curry's 8 turnovers, which blunted the impact of his otherwise brilliant 36-point, 75% shooting night. But all of it circles back to that moment, doubling Leonard when it wasn't needed, breaking the defensive structure, and giving the Clippers the window they needed. One defensive lapse. One rotation gamble. One play-in ticket punched. Now, the Warriors will have to regroup fast, with everything on the line Tuesday against Memphis. The fallout from the loss was immediate, not just in the standings, but in the tone around the locker room and the fan base. Steve Kerr, while composed in the post-game presser, didn't hide his frustration with the execution down the stretch. "We had our chances," Kerr said. "It comes down to details, small decisions, missed box outs, a turnover here, a blown coverage there. Against a team like the Clippers, you can't afford those." But perhaps the most telling moment came from Stephen Curry himself. Visibly exhausted, yet ever the leader, Curry emphasized accountability. "We're not looking for excuses," he said. "We've been here before. We know what's at stake. It's not the path we wanted, but it's the path we've got. Now we have to own it." And he's right. This isn't unfamiliar territory for Golden State. Last season, they also flirted with inconsistency before ultimately falling short of a deep playoff run. But this time, the pressure feels heavier. The roster isn't getting younger. Klay Thompson's future remains uncertain with free agency looming, and Draymond Green, always the emotional engine, has had his share of highs and lows this season, both on and off the court. The margin for error is vanishing, and the play-in tournament is far from a guaranteed path. Facing the Memphis Grizzlies, a gritty young squad with nothing to lose, will be a mental and physical test. Even if the Warriors win, they'll still need to play again just to officially secure a playoff spot. It's a gauntlet, and the kind of situation where veteran savvy can either shine or show its age. Meanwhile, the NBA world has taken notice. Analysts have begun to question some of Kerr's recent rotation choices, especially the benching of Moody in crunch time and the reliance on smaller lineups that struggle to secure defensive rebounds. Social media lit up after the final whistle, with fans and pundits dissecting every late-game possession, from Green's missed layup to Curry's double-team decision. Even opposing players chimed in. Paul George, watching from the sidelines due to injury, tweeted a simple respect to both squads. That was a war. But the subtext was clear. The Clippers weathered the storm, while the Warriors blinked. The loss also affects potential playoff matchups. Had the Warriors won, they would have faced the Lakers in a first-round clash that promised ratings, storylines, and star power. Now they're stuck in survival mode, and nothing beyond Tuesday is guaranteed. What's more, this game raised deeper questions about the team's identity. Are the Warriors still the same dangerous playoff-tested unit they were during their dynasty run? Or are they now a middle-tier team struggling to stay afloat in a rapidly evolving Western Conference? For now, there's no time to dwell. The Grizzlies are waiting. Every possession matters. Every decision will be under the microscope. The margin between extending the season and going home is thinner than ever. And for a franchise that once dominated the league, the road back to relevance just got a whole lot steeper.